So we're gonna do the thing that I always do in any of my games. Everybody roll a d20.
Oh, nice. All right.
Oh, my titties.
That's not a number.
6.
I got a 16.
I also got a 6.
All right, the 2 6s have a roll off, please.
All
Each
right.
of you roll again.
Ooh, okay.
12.
Ooh, 19.
All right, Pat. Just give a quick, from memory, if you can remember all of what happened or most of what happened. Just like give us a quick rundown of what we did about 3 months ago.
We're in this. No, I keep getting our campaign. Like
Yeah.
Your and mine.
I also run a
this.
separate campaign with Pat, so yeah.
So I don't really remember what the last thing we did was. I know I felt like I remember the prologue.
That's literally all we did.
Oh, we only did the prologue?
Yeah, we did the
Oh,
prologue.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
no. I tried to burn down that NPC boat.
Oh, yeah.
True.
that's
Yeah, so the last time we
true.
recorded, that was when we were
yeah.
approached on the high seas by some
Fucking
dude. Hold
pirates.
on, let me see if I wrote down his name.
I low-key fucking hate that pirate.
Yo, me too.
Yo, I still think I had the right call. I was just trying to burn that shit down.
Did I not write down? What the fuck, bro? Is this?
He had a really dumb name. I did not write it down. It's
I
like
remember his name.
Captain
Anyway.
Bubble Bottom or whatever. Like it's really bad. I remember
Bad,
like
because
Sounds like a character Colin would play.
flat
Ayo.
bubble flask or something. It was like it sounded alchemical,
Oh,
and
dude.
I just like I woofed at it.
But anyway, that guy ran us down, boarded our ship, essentially coerced us into joining his
Being friends.
band of pirates, sold us a bunch of shit, and then pointed us in the direction of our next task, which, since I didn't end up actually writing anything down, have no idea
Oh, so you
what we're doing.
Kalt kind of taught you guys were looking for a good point of port, and Kalt knew of one place that is relatively safe where the rule of law is strong, called I believe it's the Isle of Stone, and the town itself is called Stoneholm, and he led you guys there,
Word.
navigated and whatnot.
Rock and roll.
Cool.
And then as you, I guess, mulling over, like we fucked up an island, we burned it down, then we made our way, and then as you guys approached Stoneholm and the Isle of Stone at large, you noticed that the town looked pretty dead at night. Suspiciously dead. There weren't any lights in any windows. Everything was dark. And
Isn't there also like a plague of flies or something?
you did
approaching
notice
the
as you
boat?
guys approached that you guys were harried by flies, which is it's a fairly uncommon thing to happen out at sea. I mean, you are close to an island, so it's not unheard of. But as you guys approached further and the lights of day also approached the island, you noticed a bunch of figures like running around what seemed to be like a rough little square where people were trading, running around, being very active, not normal town activity as far as you know. And then, as you guys were getting very close and becoming quite visible on the horizon, somebody turned around, noticed you guys, pointed in your direction, and started to scream to the townsfolk, "A boat! A boat!" And that's where you guys are currently. I would say you're probably a solid, maybe a quarter of a mile at this point away from the shoreline, or from there's a small harbor, actually quite large harbor that you just entered in, but there is a much smaller kind of port attached to the city. Small town, whatever, and you guys are still probably about a quarter of a mile away from it, but now you're starting to see people gather and getting basically watching you guys approach.
Well, I'm not used to a welcoming party in such a small town.
This is not normal.
Well, you were the one who knew of this place, weren't you?
I was, but it's usually a very orderly place. This seems disorderly.
Okay, well, I mean, put on your best faces, I suppose.
I'd like to cast Firebolt into the air as mock fireworks to announce our arrival.
Okay, yeah, you pew. You guys doing anything else as you approach?
Probably not. Just waiting to get off this godforsaken ship.
All right, so when you do this firebolt, are you trying to show off? Are you trying to is this a warning? Is this for you trying to be funny? Like, what are you trying to get out from this firebolt?
It's more like a very very bright hello.
All right, make a performance check.
Performance. Ooh. That is a 24.
Okay, yeah. You as you do that, people from the shoreline, you can hear like ooh, ah. And
Very well done.
you guys you're continuing on your approach. You are slowing down. Kalt seems to be easing up a little bit, kind of slowing you guys down a little bit. And he starts barking at you. Maybe we should be very cautious on approach. This crowd does not look friendly at this point. And at this point, everybody is getting really close on the docks to the point everybody's grouping up where you start to see one or two people start to fall off the docks and start to clamber back up and try and like push their way back into the crowd.
Oh, they should be more careful.
Something is not right here. And as you guys approach, you can actually start to hear things. You hear just like a crowd of people saying, take me. Oh, please just take me. You need to take my daughter. My daughter needs to leave here. Just take her with you. People are like raising up small children and like taking away, and other people are like screaming, like got their hands like sacks where you can assume to be gold or silver, kind of like raised up in the air, like take me.
What's going on?
Well, I think maybe you should take a step back again, small child.
Pull back on the sail. We need to stop here.
Well, I mean, aren't we going to make sure?
I think if we make sure, they will try and take the boat.
Oh, that is absolutely a possibility. Can I just yell out to the villagers?
This is less a crowd and more a mob. Yeah, but you can yell out.
I just kind of want to yell at them. You all seem rather distressed. That's all I got.
You just hear the rabble. They all just kind of stop. Like there's a literal. You could hear a pin drop for a second as they're all like ingesting what you just said, and they all just get back into like, please take me, just get me off this island. I need off this island. I have plenty of coin if you would get me off this island. I'm a quite effective businessman. And he's like trying to throw a gold coin to you, but it's like hitting the water. He keeps on reaching into a bag and throwing it over.
So what does the crowd look like? Like, is it just like a whole, smorgasbord of people?
You see, definitely. You see poor people, rich people. You can kind of tell from their sense of dress. If you want to roll a perception check, maybe you'll get a better little insight at exactly what you see.
Okay, sure.
But at this point, this looks like a mob.
That's a 19.
All right, yeah, natural 19 or
18 plus 1.
Okay, yeah.
Forgot that's how we're doing it.
As you look out upon the crowd, there's nothing that really calls out to you specifically other than the fact that it's a real mix of what you believe this town would have. You see poor people, you see rich people, like people in a much finer regalia, kind of velvet clothes, and they have cloaks and even jewelry, while other people are wearing more like sackcloth stuff. And you see the in-between as well, like the middle class. You see young people, you see old people, you see a lot of families, people holding their children. Like kind of yelling at you to like, take my child. It's one of those situations you're not really sure what the right move is.
All right, well, it seems that in any time of chaos, a stern leader needs to step forward. Young child, would you like to guide us into this?
Okay, sure.
Yes, child, would you like to be the leader? You guys are about 50 feet from the docks at this point, just kind of out enough where it would be awkward for people to swim. But you do see people getting a little antsy, maybe even seems like some of them are even taking off clothing, prepared to jump into the water and rush by and try and swim over. Maybe we should run. Maybe we should turn around and leave. I don't know. This is a very strange scenario.
Is there another spot that we could land? Or make shore? Or whatever the fuck the word is?
Make a perception check. See if you can see anything nearby.
My perception is 3. I got a 10 total.
They, nothing super duper obvious. They're not taking up the entirety of this dock. It's about 100 feet wide, and there's a series of jetties coming out from it, and that are acting like docks. And they are cloistered around basically where they think you are going to be coming in. But there are, as you kind of go out from there, you go to maybe the last dock on the right, you see that there really isn't that many people over there at this point. You can assume they probably would follow you.
Would it be outside the bounds of minor illusion to try to have my voice as loud?
I believe minor illusion is only visual, unless it says otherwise. Can you read the spell?
Yeah, that would be more like thaumaturgy to make your voice louder.
It says I can create a sound. If I create a sound, the volume can range from whisper to scream. It can be my voice, someone else's.
I think it'd have to be pretty simple. But yeah, I think you could maybe say a phrase or a sentence.
All I'm gonna do is like, if I use it, I'm just gonna call out and say, "Who's in charge here?"
Like several people, like, oh, I'm in charge. No, I'm in charge. No, me. We should parlay. Let me on your boat, and we can talk this out, and we'll decide who gets on board.
I don't like this one bit. Everyone just stay back. We need to assess the situation. And I will, I think we should huddle real quick.
Yeah, okay, you guys huddle together.
These people seem very messed up.
I think if we turn about quick enough, and then go fast enough, we could launch from the boat and go on the shore. One of us would have to stay behind, though.
Well, but what, to what cause? To what end?
We could keep the boat safe and in harbor, but the other three could see what's going on. We are running low on supplies.
Are you suggesting to split the party?
I mean, technically speaking, I'm not supposed to be part of this adventure.
Sorry.
So above board, my character's not supposed to be part of this adventure. But yeah, what he says is true. You guys only had a handful of apples, most of which you probably have gone through at this point. You guys are running low on supplies.
All right. Well, I suppose if we must.
Perhaps you could grab a small child. A small child lasts many days at sea.
Okay, maybe you should stay back.
An adult would work as well, but the flesh is less tender.
Mr. Bone Man sounds kind of creepy. Can I go with you?
Yes, you may depart the boat. I would certainly not leave a small child here alone and now.
Kalt takes the small child by his side and goes, he grabs something from his pocket.
Child, take this and sow chaos if you can.
And he gives you a tinderbox.
Ooh, what's this do?
It makes flame.
Maeve is kind of triggered by flames after accidentally burning her family's house down. So she takes it with apprehension.
He sees your apprehension and he just whispers,
embrace it.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's definitely jump into the crowd of crazy people.
all right,
It
so
feels safer
everybody
somehow.
make, just to get this situation for the boat lined up, I can't remember exactly all the stuff that Colin set up, but everybody just make a general dexterity check for setting up the boat for this run.
Okay.
Like, you guys got to be quick on your feet. I'll
That is
even
a
roll for Cult.
4 + 3, 7 for me.
Not
Ooh,
good for
2
me.
+ 4, that's a 6.
Got a 13 plus 3, 16.
All right, so you guys are lining up the boat. Cult turns you guys about, tries to catch the wind. He starts to like skid parallel, maybe about 10 feet away, going very quickly. You guys probably have about a 5 to 10 second window to jump from the boat before he peels off. Now, everybody that got above a 10, roll straight.
Shit.
If you rolled below, roll with disadvantage.
What are we rolling?
A dexterity check, or acrobatics check.
Okay. Acrobatics. Okay.
I crit failed.
I got an 11.
3 + 4, 7.
All right, so if you got a 10 or above, you jump safely into the crowd. If you got below that, you for the nat 1, Pat, your character straight up just trips on the side of the boat, falls first, like face first in the water.
Okay.
But what's your character's name again? Sorry,
Locke.
And Josh, what is your character?
Sir Edmund Montgomery Blackwood, a pleasure to meet you.
So yeah, Blackwood, he doesn't get tripped up, but he literally like tries to jump into the crowd and they reject him and like push him back into the water. You guys are a little wet, but at that point, Kalt, like a 1 or 2 people try to jump on the ship, and Kalt like turns it around, and they just make it just short enough, and they fall into the water, and he peels out. He goes about another 100 feet, and you see him
Burns rubber.
Yeah, burns rubber out of there, and you see him go about another 100 feet, and you see him drop anchor.
Well, I would like to swim to shore, please. Yeah.
Well, I'm soggy and I'm displeased.
Yeah, so the people that dropped in the water, you are a little soggy. The crowd seems pretty displeased with this, but they disperse pretty quickly. It seems like they have something to do.
Yeah, I draw my rapier and I make towards the land. Did they take the small child?
You are probably surrounded by 4 or 5 people.
Hello.
There's like 2 noble looking guys, an elvish woman that looks about middle class, and 2 poor folk. One of them goes,
Could you bring back your friends so we could get away from here?
I don't know. We just need some supplies and stuff. Do you know where we can get them?
I could get you supplies if you bring me. Am I allowed to go on your boat?
We'll see about that.
No, take my supplies. If you take my supplies, I will gladly just accept a simple transit upon your vessel as payment. I have only I have a fine red wine that you would just love.
I approach with my rapier drawn, step away from the small child, stop offering her libation.
They are not taken aback by you. They literally just start asking you the same. I mean, what about you? I mean, you could probably use. I mean, she said you guys use supplies. If we give you supplies, will you bring us on your boat?
We shall have to discuss this. What is the urgency with which you need to leave this place?
We need to get out of here tonight.
Tonight, for any particular reason?
It's coming tonight. We need to get out of here tonight.
This is
what's
all
coming?
very vague.
The beast is coming tonight. It's the third day. We need to leave here.
Whoa. Back it the fuck up here. What is the beast?
I am backing it the fuck up here. It's the beast. I haven't seen it with my own eyes. I've only seen the carnage it's wrought.
So how do you know it exists?
The bodies. All of the bodies.
What do they look like?
What does what look like?
The bodies.
He He kind of stutters. I don't know if I should.
What kind
really...
of wounds are we talking about? Like, do you see claw marks, bite marks?
You see him gulp, and he's like, all of the above. No. But no, he's, have you ever seen somebody whose insides are no longer on the inside?
Yeah, but a lot of things can cause that.
Yeah, but have you ever seen it up close?
Would you please stop asking the small child these questions?
No, he's at, Locke is talking to this guy at this point.
Oh, I apologize.
I've seen my neighbor. It looked like whatever it was, it ripped through him to get to what was on the inside.
Do you have any idea where this beast is for all the other days that it is not destroying your village?
No, we don't. It comes every day. It comes every second or third day. Sometimes on the second day, sometimes on the third day. But today's the third day. It's definitely going to come tonight. We need to get off this island.
Has anyone seen this beast?
A few of the guard, probably some other folk.
All right, bring us to them. We will assess the situation.
I'm sorry, I don't really have a lot of time. I got to get stuff for my family.
Well, then do that. Can you at least point us in the right direction?
What exactly? You want to go to the guards?
Yes, whoever's seen this beast.
Find this beast and kill it.
I want
I
to
don't
see
know.
the bodies.
I don't know which ones, but he's starting to say that I don't know any. You want to see the bodies?
Yes, please.
No, we're not doing that. No.
That might be valuable evidence.
We do not have time for this if this beast is truly coming.
There's not much left. They burn them. But I don't. I mean, there is the guardhouse, but I mean, they're probably out and about at the moment.
Then where would they be?
Make a perception check. They might be nearby for all you know.
I got a 9.
You don't see any in the vicinity, and at this point,
So,
this
this
guy is starting to
dude-
like walk away. He's starting to like trying to leave without necessarily
All
being
right.
rude.
Well, I'm gonna try to intimidate him. Then I'm gonna grab him by the collar and be like, "Tell me where I could find a guard, or I'm throwing you in the ocean."
Make an intimidation check.
14.
I'm gonna roll against it. He fails. Please, I have a family. I just need to make sure we have enough supplies to last the night. Please, just let me go. I need to
If
get.
you tell us where this guard is, we will take care of the situation, and all your problems will be solved.
I don't know which guard. I just know that some guards have seen it.
Don't care if you don't know a specific guard.
All right, who is in charge of this town?
The Stone Lord. The Stone Lord's in charge of the town.
The Stone Lord. And where is the Stone Lord?
He points in the behind him, and there's the village proper you guys are at, and then a little bit farther up on a hill, kind of observing the town, you see a pretty large stone keep.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna drop this dude on the ground, and as I'm walking toward that keep, mumble under my breath about how much of a fucking idiot he is.
I
you,
concur.
mister.
He literally just picks up the stuff that he dropped and is just running away, and you see him start to talk to a few other people, kind of point in your direction. But you see some concerning stares, but I mean nobody's acting on anything.
I don't give a shit. They're all morons.
Yes.
So, what time of day is it right now?
It's very early morning, probably 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I think if these people are going to be of no help, and clearly are in a state of frenzy, we should go speak to whoever's in charge. Maybe they have a clearer head.
I agree. Let's go talk to the Stone Lord.
All right.
Now, you said it's getting towards night, is the sun starting to set?
No, it's a super early morning, maybe around
Oh,
7
morning.
7 a.m.
I thought you were saying like 7 p.m. My apologies. Well, let us crest the hill to the Stone Keep. I think they said it was called.
Yeah, it's just a keep. It's a big stone keep. Imagine like cobblestone type of texture. It's very rough stone hewn, and it's big and it's pretty nice, but it's nothing. I mean, you guys have spent time on the main continent. It's not quite that level of richness. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should just make our way there.
Is there anything you guys want to do while you are walking through town? There are people around. There's still, as you're kind of making your way heading towards that way, there's still a bunch of people running around, going to different, like, seems to be market stalls and, like, haphazardly grabbing, throwing some money on a table and, like, grabbing whatever they can carry and, like, running around. You see a long line outside of what looks to be a smithy. And you hear the ting, ting, ting kind of repetitious hitting of metal, hammer on metal.
I would just keep an eye out for any guard, and if I see any guard, I would like to go over and strap them.
All right, make a perception check. Anybody that wants to look for guards while you guys are walking, make a perception check.
That is 19 plus 2? That can't be right. 19 plus 5.
Okay, yeah, you definitely, I mean, there wasn't necessarily guards near the dock, or maybe there was in the crowd, but they quickly dispersed afterwards. You do see like a guard, kind of a lone guard walking kind of through the streets, seemed to be making his rounds.
Okay, I'd like to approach him.
Is there anything I can do you for?
Yes, sir. We have just arrived in your small town here, and we have some grave concerns. People seem to be frantic about some beasts.
You just arrived? Do you have a boat?
We do, yes.
Could I get on your boat?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. It's not a very large vessel.
I mean, I'm not a very large person.
Could you just give us some information maybe about what's happening here?
Can you tell us about the beast?
What do you want to know about the beast?
Everything. Yeah, like nothing's off limits here. Just spit it out.
Okay. I don't know how much you know about the island, but it's a pretty peaceful place. It's as far as the wildlands go, it's a harbor of peace and tranquility in comparison. The Stone Lord rules justly. You kind of see him like twinge a little bit when he says justly. Rules justly and fairly, and even vicious pirates, when they make port in Stoneholm, tend to be on their best behavior. But a few months ago, there was a vicious murder. Us on the watch had never seen anything like it before. The door was completely caved in and broken. Blood everywhere, and Millie's corpse was decapitated and her chest was ripped open.
Who's Millie?
The woman that died. Nobody of import, just an older woman that lived in town. It was suspicious. We brought in the usual suspects, thieves and whatnot. Maybe this was the work of a cultist of some kind. It's not unheard of. But as we started bringing in more people and holding them, started to interrogate them as the way that we are wont to do, it happened again 2 days later.
How long has this been happening for?
3 or 4 months now. 50 people are dead. It comes every 2 or 3 days. Some people it just harries. It even came to my home once. It partially broke through the door, threw things through the window. I couldn't see its figure, but after about 10 minutes, it either got bored or stopped enjoying terrifying my family, and left. Not but 5 minutes later, it killed another person and disappeared into the night.
And did anyone get a good look at it or where it went?
No, a handful have seen it. We did not know what it looked like until about a month ago. The current watchman, General Tirik, he was unlucky enough to see it in the night. We didn't believe him at first. The beast, large. He noticed a foul smell in the wind before he saw it. He saw just a glimpse of its form, large, hairy, but he did note that its eyes and teeth glowed with an unnatural hue. He said it laughed at him, and then disappeared into the darkness.
And was he with anyone? Anyone who could corroborate this?
He was with his partner. He was looking for his partner when he found the beast.
But he wasn't with his partner?
No, his partner was the victim that night.
And where is this Tirik now?
Could be at the watch house. I mean, many have died. Just 2-3 weeks ago, the previous watchman general, he died. And Tyrek, being the most senior member, he is the de facto leader, de facto Watchman General.
And I apologize. I forgot to ask your name.
My name is Wesley.
Well, thank you very much, Wesley. You've been very helpful. Could you point us in the direction of the watch house?
Now about your boat, I have a family, and I wish.
We'll be sure to follow up with you later.
How will you get back to me? Do you have Skype or?
We'll send a carrier pigeon.
Don't find us. We'll find you.
Please seek me out. I need to get off this island. I have a family to protect.
Well, we'll see what we can do to maybe ratify the situation, and you don't have to completely uproot your family.
He kind of grabs you by the shoulders. It's like, I need to get off of this island.
I will, like, very delicately lift his hand with just, like, my pinky and my thumb finger off of my shoulder.
Pinky and thumb finger? That's a very awkward grab.
I meant index finger.
Okay, yeah.
And I just gingerly, like, lower his arm. You would be wise to never do that again, Wesley. I like you now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He kind of composes himself for a second. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. This town is at a breaking point. I don't know how much longer we are going to keep it together. And then kind of like not saunters, but kind of grimly walks away.
Well, so far we've not had a conversation with anyone who isn't completely insane here. So, what do you think the odds the Stone Lord will be okay?
All right. So pretty much while that's going on, I'm pretty sure Maeve was just kind of looking around and seeing what kind of, if there was like anything else of interest besides like the smithy in the little town space we walked by.
Oh, make
just kind of playing a sightseer.
Make an investigation check as you are kind of like taking things in.
That is a 10 plus.
All right, in the general vicinity, you do see the smithy. You actually, with that, you see the name. It's called the Heavy Hand. Just
the Heavy Hand. You
the
said?
Heavy Hand. Yeah, that's the name of
Okay.
it. And then it seems like a lot of mixed-use housing and stuff like that on this street. But a little ways down, you do see what looks like another store, and it says on the little template or the little I can't remember, like a hanging sign. It says Randall's General and Specific Goods. But that's pretty much all you see. It's mostly housing. You see that shop, and you see the smithy. Yeah, well, that's all you get with a 10 or 11 or so.
Is anyone in need of any armaments or anything?
So I'm gonna point towards the general store and be like, "Hey, we could probably get stuff there."
I have this feeling that if we were to save this town, we might get a decent discount. Just throwing that out there.
Making a little bit of an assumption.
I mean, if this thing's killed 50 people, if I don't get a 10% discount, I'm gonna be real pissed. I think the most prudent thing would be to go right to the Stone Keep.
I wonder if we'll see the bodies
I
there.
agree.
I'm sure we'll see at least a couple. Okay, I'm very concerned about your mental health, young woman.
I think they're all going to be burned, hopefully.
Well, maybe if they're wise.
All right. So you guys have learned a little about the beast. Everybody make an Arcana check.
I'll have you know that I do not have a negative Arcana.
I have to re-roll. That landed right on the crack of my table.
Do you mean they have a 0? Because I also have a 0 Arcana.
I have
And
1, which is good for a 6 total.
I rolled a 2 total with my nat 1.
Ooh, boy. Y'all are...
I rolled an 8, so...
You guys are really stumped. This doesn't sound like anything you've ever encountered before, heard about.
Could it maybe be natural?
Does not seem I mean, just from the general way that they were talking about it, it doesn't seem like just a generic regular beast. Like a natural beast. It does not seem like a bear or an owlbear or something like that. It seems pretty gnarly. And especially when he said like glowing eyes and teeth, it's usually not a characteristic of a bear or like a wild beast.
Yeah, like I
Clearly
metagame have some ideas what it is, but...
Yeah. So, you continue your way to the Stone Lord's Via. All right, yeah, you make it pretty close. It's a pretty long-ish road. It takes about 10 minutes from where you guys are at. I mean, this town's not insanely large. And then you come to a guardhouse.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
Excuse me, can I help you? Are you here to see the Stone Lord?
Yes, we are.
You kind of see
mister.
you see a squat
gnomish-looking fellow kind of come out of the guardhouse. He stands about 2 feet tall. Got a little cute little spear in his hand. He kind of like tilts the armor around. The armor is a little bit too big for him, so he's like, the hat keeps on sliding one way or the other. Do you have any, what is your business with the Stone Lord?
Well, we just arrived in town and we're very concerned about the state of affairs here. It seems like everyone is in a panic over some sort of beast.
Oh, he kind of slides the helmet up from like it was blocking his eyes, and he brings back. Oh, you are new. Oh, the Stone Lord told me that if we have any newcomers, that they must be sent to her right away.
Okay.
Come, I'll escort you. And he kind of like starts to like pull up his breastplate because it scrapes the ground, and kind of like has his like spear in one hand, and he pulls up his breastplate, and he kind of like starts chundling towards about 30 or 40 the 30 or 40 feet to the villa itself.
So, if something were to attack you, do you just kind of like turtle in there? Is that the plan?
It's probably pretty accurate.
Okay,
I
just
haven't grown into this armor yet. I'm told that if I work hard, I'll probably I'll fill it out a little.
And what is your name?
My name is Todley.
I'm sorry, could you spell that?
Todley, Todley.
I'm gonna write down toddler.
Can I call you Todd?
No, you can never call me Todd.
Can I call
My
you
name
Lay?
is Todley. Can you call me what?
Lay.
He kind of looks at you, sneers up his mouth a little bit. No. I am a watchman. I deserve respect.
Yes, you certainly do. How old are you, toddler?
As his helmet falls forward onto his face and covers up his eyes again. I'll have you know that I am 85 years young.
Oh, okay. So, in those 85 years, you weren't able to acquire fitting clothing?
Oh, I have fitting clothing. You see, they don't really make a lot of gnomish armor, I guess, here.
Okay. Well, let's proceed to speak with your master here. Onward, toddler.
Toddley, not toddler.
I'm sorry. Continue.
He kind of picks up his armor even higher, and he trundles over, now going like twice as fast as he was doing before. He lets his armor...
Brisk walk.
Yeah, brisk walk. And he makes it to this big set of double doors. They're nice carved wood. And he takes the backside of his spear and kind of like drops his armor for a second and like bangs on the door. He kind of turns back to you guys. They'll be here in a second. I'm gonna head back to the guardhouse.
I'm gonna pat him on his head as he walks past me.
Hi, Todd.
Make an attack roll.
Attack roll?
As you try to touch him. As you try and touch him.
Would that be strength then, or
whatever you usually use. Dex or strength, whatever.
Okay. I got an unnatural 20.
Yeah, you kind of like put your hand on his helmet, and you can tell it's like scraping against his skin as you like give him a little bit of a noogie. Get away from me! And he like puts up his spear, starts to like walk backwards. His armor, his breastplate is like grating on the gravel as you guys are going back.
They're so cute at that age.
But yeah, but in that moment of very weird awkwardness, you guys don't even notice that the door has opened. And inside you hear a voice. Hello, greetings, travelers. It's truly a high honor to be allowed to meet with the Stone Lord. What business do you have? You seem to be new in town. Do you seek the reward? Oh, you must come. Oh, you must meet Her Highness right away.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Who am I? I am.
Yes.
I am the Stone Lord's personal valet, de Sonveya. Oh, excellent. We must go. Do you know much of the Stone Lord? He starts to like rush you guys inside a little bit.
No, we are new to this town, and
We just got here on our boat. We want supplies.
Oh, a boat! How quaint!
We are homeless.
Oh, you're homeless? Oh, I've heard the streets can be a fun place sometimes.
What? Whoever told you that, it means you ill will.
Oh, I would not know. I do not spend a lot of time on the streets.
I'm sorry, could you spell your name?
Okay, I don't know it by heart. It's DSON
So
space.
it's gonna be Dyson. It's gonna
No,
make a
Dyson.
vacuum
VE
jokes.
VE
It's alright, I'm
apostrophe
sure they'd suck.
YA.
Aha!
It is a.
Sorry.
It is she. They are Elven. You can't quite make out the Elven features are very soft in general. You can't quite make out if this person is female, they're male. It's kind of, they seem to be generally ambiguous, and the clothes they're wearing don't give you any hints.
Okay. Please lead us to your master, I guess.
Oh, I will. Just one moment. We need to go over some rules. Do you know the Stone Lord's name?
We do not know.
The Stone Lord.
Her name is Allison Rickard. Allison Rickard. Remember her name, and do not call her Allison. Call her Allison Rickard, or Her Noble Highness the Stone Lord.
Why?
Okay.
She's very specific about titles and names. Next point. Do not make eye contact with her. She dislikes eye contact. So avert your gaze. You are not worthy to lock eyes with Her Highness, Her Noble Highness the Stone Lord Allison Rickard. Say it back to me.
Her Noble Highness Allison Rickard, the
Allison
Stone Lord.
I'm getting a lot of mixed signals. If you could say it in unison, and you could all say it correctly. Her Noble Highness
Noble
Stone
Highness
Lord Allison
Lord
Rickard.
Allison
The Stone Lord Allison
Rickard.
Rickard.
Close enough. I will introduce her. Don't worry about it. Just don't say her name. Also, don't look at her in the eye. Of course, it goes without saying. Do not try and attempt to charm or use magic on her in any fashion. Very obvious. Let's not do that. We just cleaned. Do you guys have any questions for me before we go see her?
Yes, what happens if we look her in the eye accidentally?
A good question. It hasn't happened in a while. It really depends on her mood. Let's not
Okay.
tempt fate, though. You guys seem very nice, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Thank you.
She also
Jason.
does a little jig when she does that. She's got a lot of fun mom energy a little bit.
You kids need anything? Wine, condoms.
Is there anything I can get you guys before we go there? You see any refreshment? Maybe a little food? We have, maybe a little crudité or something?
I've never turned down a glass of wine.
Oh, of course. And she kind of goes. They go over.
Sandwiches.
What is a sandwich? I've never heard of a sandwich. What is that? So ethnic. I don't know. Is that an ethnic thing? That seems weird. Where are you guys from? You're not from around here, are you?
I told you we're homeless.
I mean, if you're homeless, you still from around here. Or where are you? So where are you guys from?
Well, I am from the mainland.
Oh, the mainland. So exotic. Is that where sandwiches come from?
Yes, it is a well-documented fact that sandwiches come from the mainland.
Only the ones with crust.
Ooh, I spend a lot of time in the keep. I don't read a lot, so I'm just learning so much.
Yes, wonderful. You know what? Maybe we'll skip the sandwich. If you could just introduce us to the Stone Lord, Her Majesty Allison Rickard.
Her Royal Highness the Stone Lord.
No, her
Get it right.
noble. Yeah, her noble highness, the Stone Lord Allison Rickard. Say it again.
Right.
I'm getting a
On
little
three,
worried. You guys aren't
everybody.
remembering.
1, 2, 3. Her Noble Highness the Stone Lord Allison Rickard.
Woo! So happy. It only took about 5 tries, but we're there. All right, let's go. Let's walk. We're walking now. Let's go.
I had to write it down on the inside of my hand. Shh.
And you guys are taken through a series of rooms. And at some point, as you guys are walking, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes. Random attendants come up to you and offer you drinks.
I will take every single one that is offered to me.
As you take them, and then right around the time you can kind of tell this seems to be the main chamber. There are 2 guards standing outside. At that point, other guards start trying to, not guards but service people, start to try and take the goblets from your hands.
Okay, how many did I have in that time period?
You just were you trying to hold all these at the same time?
I was trying to drink as they were handed to me.
Oh, interesting. Make a. So how many did you have? Make a dexterity. Make just a straight dexterity check as you're trying to juggle all these glasses, kind of.
I got a 17.
Oh yeah. You've got like 4 or 5 mugs, like kind of
Nice.
like you're trying to drink one. You still have like 3 more to go. Yeah, they're like trying to like strip the mugs away from you at this point. Are you guys letting them take them, or are you gonna resist?
I'm gonna chug.
All right. Okay. I mean, if you need to take a, drink up. It is wine, so you're gonna have
Do I roll
5
a
glasses of wine.
Constitution?
Yeah, roll a Constitution check.
As we're approaching and we're talking with this disarmed person, can I just roll insight?
Yeah, roll insight. It's good.
Ooh, that is a natural 20.
Natural 20. So what exactly do you want to know about her? Or they? Sorry, not her. They.
They just seem to be very, I guess, loose with the wine and the stuff that they're handing out, and it doesn't seem like people here are doing great. So I'm wondering what exactly is going on. If we're being plied, like if they're trying to get us drunk or poison us.
You definitely get a feeling that you are being plied a little. The feeling you get from Dasan, is a feeling that this person basically says yes. And like pretty much to anything within reason. I keep on saying she. They seem like a very like a person that uses their like positive energy as a weapon almost a little bit. They are very disarming, kind of like taking you out of your safe space, and it seems almost weaponized. You guys, generally speaking, without asking too many questions, she got you guys to speak in unison. She got you guys to keep on saying the name. They were using their this kind of fun energy as a weapon to get you guys to do what she wanted. They wanted. I keep on saying she. It's poor form.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on this person and just make sure that they don't do anything untoward.
Okay.
All right, I got a 6 on my Constitution.
You are for the next 10 minutes, for the next hour, you are drunk.
Okay.
You're pretty tipsy.
And I'm just drinking water.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because you are drunk, you will have you are considered poisoned. You know what the poison condition does?
I don't.
We're gonna look that up real quick. We'll do it together. Yeah, poison creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Yep, that's
so
it.
you're kind of stumbling around a little bit. You're a little uncoordinated. You're feeling that wine. It's been a while since you've had a good, strong, like alcoholic beverage. So yeah, as you guys enter, you see sitting on a fairly large. I mean, this room is big, but it's empty. It's pretty well appointed, unless, like I guess, on the fringes, you see a very large blue carpet that is central to the room. And at the very end of the room, as you guys approach, you see a almost comically large stone throne. I mean, it is stone. It's not. It's more, think Danny's throne and Dragonstone kind of thing. It's not necessarily made out of anything fancy. It's just large and imposing.
Okay.
On the front of it, you do see 2 simple sculptures of what look like little gnomes, kind of just standing there. And in there, you see a fairly young woman, dark brown hair, about shoulder height, wearing a kind of simple stone crown. Pretty average looking overall. You do see maybe a slight smirk as you guys approach. So, Her Noble Highness the Stone Lord Alison Ricard, I have for you.
Can I just push past Dasan and just
hey,
say, Madam, my name is Sir Edmund Montgomery Blackwood, and I'm here to discuss some very concerning details with you. And I make immediate eye contact.
She sees that you're attempting to make eye contact and locks with you. Make a perception check.
11 plus 5. 16. 16.
Yeah, you can make out some pretty good detail of her. You see her body stiffen a little bit, and you see her eyes narrow on you, and you see this small little smirk she had, like, drop from her face. Her Noble Highness, Stone Lord, Alison Ricard. Hey everyone, it's me, Ryan.
I play Kalt, the Bonemaster, and I am currently the DM of this little adventure. Yep, you are stuck with me for, I guess, a little bit. Hopefully that's enjoyable. Hopefully you enjoy the dulcet, silky tones of my voices. Unfortunately, that means Bone Boy Kalt isn't really in this adventure, which is either a bummer or a relief. Really depends on your alignment and point of view, how you view opportunistic cannibals that just want to have friends. As a heads up, we are moving to bi-weekly. We will be dropping new episodes on the first and third week of the month going forward, so keep an eye out when those new episodes drop. Speaking of which, if you like the podcast, make sure to rate and subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be using, especially since we're moving to the bi-weekly schedule. It'll make sure you don't miss out on any of our new episodes. Make sure to follow us on social media at Dice Populi. Please reach out and let us know what you think about the show. The feedback we've received so far has been extremely positive. This is a labor of love, and hearing from other people about the show has just been amazing, and it's really inspiring us to really double down our efforts on this show and make it as good as we can. I'm low-key actually in charge of the Instagram, and it gives me an excuse to post memes and pictures of my classic D&D collection at work when I am, supposed to be working. So I would appreciate y'all taking a look, maybe dropping me one of them likes, inflate my ego a little bit, make the transaction of ignoring work and being on social media just a little bit easier for my brain to, figure out. Our website, dicepopuli.com, is a nice hub for all of our social media and has some information about the cast members as well. So if you're curious about anything about the show, check out dicepopuli.com, and maybe whatever you're curious about, you'll find out. I hope you're enjoying this adventure so far. My intention was for a spooky, scary type of 1950s, very dramatic, movie type of vibe, very monster of the week. I hope everyone is feeling that vibe. I hope everybody is liking that vibe. It was a lot of fun to make. It's been an absolute blast to play out so far. Hopefully we'll take a lot of cool twists and turns. Hopefully I am prepared for said twists and turns. I'm very excited to see how the story progresses. Speaking of which, let's get back into it.
I want to just kind of have a stare off. I want to try to alpha her.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Oh, natural 3. So that is not going to be good. +6, that's a 9.
No, yeah. As this persists on to an awkward state, you feel a little uneasy as she gets a little more tense and she starts to lean forward slightly. She's staring you down, and her intimidation's a 10. Oh, and it's not. You're not feeling super intimidated yourself.
I just lean in even closer, and I just go, "Your townsfolk are fleeing here like rats from a sinking ship. What kind of a land are you leading?"
A land under siege. Do you have business here, or do you wish to play children's games with me for all day?
I wish to kill this beast. I stumble over and say,
He may be inebriated, but he has a point.
Good. I could use service of people capable of killing the beast.
I am capable.
That has been yet to be proven.
Her Noble Highness, Stone Lord Allison Ricard.
You see her kind of
That's impressive.
You see her kind of smirk a little bit at that as you kind of mumble your way through it.
I don't even remember his name as I point over to Josh's character.
Sir Edmund Montgomery Blackwood.
You do a pretty good job of disarming in a little bit, and you actually hear Dasan kind of chortle a little bit. The Stone Lord, she sits back and kind of relaxes. It is true. A terrible sickness has befallen my humble home. Not the usual kind of boils and bile, but one of claw and tooth. Do you think you are capable of handling this problem?
Well, we would seem more capable than the rapscallions you have sauntering about here. This one prying all of your visitors with alcohol. A small man in oversized armor guarding your front door. I think we're probably the most capable option you have.
My most capable people have died trying to stop this thing. I'm at the bottom of the barrel, and do not belittle Dasan. They do what they can. They are very nice.
They were very nice. I just think that if we are going to find ourselves in any sort of a mutually beneficial situation, we need to understand that respect is earned and not just inherent, and that we are here to help you with your problem.
That is correct. My respect has been earned. You have earned no respect so far.
Well, if you give us an opportunity... We don't have the licensing for that. If you give us an opportunity, we will take a swing at solving a problem, and then maybe you'll understand why we approach with such haste.
What do you know of the beast?
Very little, which seems to be because your townfolk know very little of what's happening.
We know it hurts people. And
can
Maeve
give
kind
you-
of gives like a half grin.
All right. I can give you some information if you are willing to take on this deed.
Yes, that is why we are here.
From what we've been able to understand, it is neither holy beast nor holy man. It stands on 2 feet.
I'm going to raise my hand real quick.
Yeah.
By holy, do you mean H-O-L-Y or W-H-O-L-L-Y?
W-H-O-L-L-Y.
Thank you.
Genuinely impressed that he could spell that.
It rips apart its prey and devours the heart amongst other things. What guards have been able to knock their arrows despite their fear found that their arrows did not find purchase in its flesh. It seems to attack randomly.
One of your guards implied that there was a pattern every 2 to 3 days.
It attacks every 2 to 3 days, but what it attacks in those 2 to 3 days makes no sense. Sometimes it will attack a home and damage the defenses, and then just leave. And then another home that is equally well defended burst through said defenses and kill one of the people inside. Seems to have avoided the castle so far. I believe it's because it's far too well guarded, but that is lessening over time.
Is there a general pattern to where the attacks are taking place?
No.
Shit.
I have my concerns about the current state of your town and how little people seem to understand and how much of a frenzy they are in. What have you done to curb this hysteria?
What do you mean, what have I done to curb this hysteria? I put guards out during the night. Many of my guardsmen were killed trying to defend the people. I can only do so much. They can't get off the island. All the tradesmen left after a week or two, and nobody else dares come to the island for fear that their ship will be stolen. My people are stuck, as am I. We don't have any options.
Who has actually encountered this beast and survived to tell the tale?
A handful of guards, maybe. Not that many will actually say they had. Tyrek is the only one that has openly said he's encountered the beast, but it was not in battle. He just saw it as it killed his partner and sauntered off into the night.
And where is this Tyrek now?
Probably at the guardhouse.
Who is your most capable of the guard?
They're all as equally capable at this point. People that were more capable are dead.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions for the Stone Lord?
Did you burn the bodies?
Yes, I burned the body.
Oh.
I could not leave them intact to be a source of fear for my villagers.
Can I roll insight on the Stone Lord?
Yeah, go for it.
That is a 16 plus 5.
All right, so total 21. You get a couple feelings about the Stone Lord. It's a very stern woman. Cold, I guess, would be a word that you would use. Calculated would be another word that you would comes to mind. Doesn't seem like a generally just Does not seem like a general, like a person you want to hang out with.
And do I get the impression that maybe, like, I don't know, I'm thinking back to, like, folklore when, like, nobles would have people killed in the middle of the night and make it, like, a tale? Could it be something like that? Or does she seem earnest in that she's, like, actually trying to curb this problem? And
Yeah, in the few moments where she talked about the beast or the guard's interactions with the beast, you can see tinges of frustration. She seems to be very frustrated that her guards were unable to do anything. She seems very frustrated that she seems to be losing power over her villagers. This does not seem to be working in her favor in any way.
I'd like to ask her, do you have any local historians or anybody who would have maybe known of any sort of local folklore before this that could give us some insight into what this creature might be?
I think maybe Father Seawin at the Temple of Kalish.
Father Seawin?
He may know more, but he's quite busy as of late. There were many orphans born from this, and he's taking care of them.
Well, we hope to stem that tide of responsibility for him, so hopefully he'll take a moment to help us with this. Could you point us in that direction?
He's at the center of town. His temple will be hard to miss compared to the others.
All right.
I will not have it said that I have not paid my debts. If you are able to kill this beast, I will give you 500 gold.
500 gold. Really? That's the price you put on saving your entire town?
That's all that I have to give.
That is fine. All right. Let us speak with Father Seawin. We're not here for the money anyway.
Dasan, please see the noble adventurers on their way.
Oh yes, of course I will. Come. We must go now. Do not make eye contact. I saw that you made eye contact. We're going to talk about it when we leave the chamber. Come on.
What kind of things do you two talk about when it's just the two of you? Because you have very different energies. I don't imagine those being very fun conversations.
Oh, we don't talk. Come.
And yeah, you guys are led to the entrance of the Via. Do you guys have any last parting words before you make off?
Thank you kindly, and I'm gonna salute.
Oh, thank you. And they kind of like do a mock salute back at you. Good luck. So yeah, you guys make your way out.
All of these people have been very unsettling. Come on, let's scooch along here.
Well, maybe if you got her name right, she would have been nice to you.
I believe when you tell somebody that they must inherently give you respect off the bat, it just means you're probably insecure. So I chose to just poke and prod a little bit, alright?
Poke and prod. So yeah, you guys make your way back into town. As you are trying, where are you guys going?
I think the only real leads we have so far are Tariq and Father Seawin. So yeah. I think either of them would be a good person to start with. Maybe even Tariq. Or Tariq. Tyreek Hill.
Tariq.
Oof. Not a good look.
Nope.
Why are you mispronouncing all my fake names?
He's saying a real name of a wife and child beater.
Yeah, he's not a great person anymore.
I mean, he was never a good person. We just didn't know it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you're going to Tariq? Tariq?
Yeah, Tariq. I nailed it. Yeah, I think we should head to Tariq.
All right. As you guys are trying to make your way through town, you can either make a persuasion check to ask for directions, or you can roll an investigation check as you are trying to make your way through.
I'll roll persuasion.
All right.
Excuse me, mister. How do we get to Reek? Oh, that's a nat 20.
Yeah, an older woman, probably in her mid to late 50s, kind of stops and, oh, hello, little girl. Are you lost?
Just a little. We're trying to look for Master Reek.
Tariq.
Tariq, that.
Oh, the watch. Are you looking for the city watch?
Him, yeah. He had the bodies.
He had the bodies? Are
Pay
you
no attention to
okay?
the body comments.
Are you? Which one of you is her father?
It's sort of like a 3 men and a baby kind of situation.
She's not ours.
She's not yours? Well, who are you to her?
Well, she was recently orphaned.
We were imprisoned together.
You say this drunkenly. We're together.
She was recently orphaned, so we are looking after her.
I'll take you guys to the watch. Don't worry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you guys. She starts heading away. It takes about 5-10 minutes. She is talking to you, the little girl. Mm-hmm. Oh, so are you doing okay? Are you in any danger, little lass?
We're doing okay. We got to ride a boat, which was fun.
Boat rides are fun. Yeah. How long have you been with the two strange men?
Oh, they're nice. There's a creepy guy. There's a really nice guy. And there's a guy who I don't really know much about. He just kind of sits around.
Okay. Why don't you come up here with me and we'll talk and we'll just walk ahead of these guys. Come on. She kind of tries to nudge you away from the other two.
I'm gonna lean over to Locke and just be like, "Which one do you think I am?"
I think you're the one who's nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And you guys, over the course of the next 5 minutes, it's not super far. It's not the center of town, but it's pretty central. You guys make 2 lefts and a right, and you're basically there. And she's like, "Oh, I'll go see if the watch is in, and I'll go come get them." Little girl, what is your name, little girl?
I'm Maeve.
Maeve, come inside with me. Let's go
I
walk
think
inside.
that she would be better suited staying with us.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, of course. We're just gonna walk inside real quick, and she takes your hand and starts to walk towards the door.
I'm gonna stay with them if that's okay.
No, it's okay.
I appreciate your concern. I know how concerning it must be to see a small child with 2 people who aren't her parents, but I promise you, we are her best bet at staying safe in a strange town like this.
Make a persuasion check.
11 plus 6, 17.
Oh.
Paladins, I got that charisma.
You see her deflate. You kind of not necessarily recoil, taken aback a little bit. You see the wind kind of take out of her sails. You can tell that maybe she was trying to angle for something. And she goes, "I guess the wildlands can be a cruel place."
Yes.
I believe you, I suppose.
Thank you. And we appreciate your assistance. You've done more than we could have possibly hoped to help us in this situation.
The watchman should be inside. I'll let you guys be. Just be safe. She takes Maeve. She gets on her knee and takes your hands. Just do whatever you can to survive. Be safe. And if you ever feel like these people don't have your best interests in mind, run away. Run away as fast as you can.
Okay. Thanks, Missy.
She's kind of taken aback by your very just blasé response, and she kind of her slight smile turns into a frown, and she kind of stares a little bit too at you guys, and then slowly walks away to a certain distance and kind of watches you guys from afar.
Well,
Thanks, lady.
Once again, I remain disturbed by every single person in this town, and I knock on the door.
Yeah, as you knock on the door, it just opens. When you knock on it, it just kind of pushes open a little bit. It's not locked or closed or anything.
Hello? Is anyone there?
You see what looks... I don't know if you guys have ever been into a police station. You see what looks like a desk sergeant kind of post up where you see some chairs and stuff, but there's nobody attending that front desk where a desk sergeant would sit. It seems to be empty.
Is it one of those little desktop bells that I can just ring obnoxiously?
You do not see a bell, but...
Can I use I'm going to use thaumaturgy to raise my voice because I totally forgot I had that earlier, and I'm going to say hello.
Your voice echoes with intense voicerifity. I don't know. But yeah, because you can make your voice like travel 300 feet, so I imagine it's very much like a megaphone, and you hear your voice kind of do a very shallow echo in these wooden halls, and from the distance way back, you can kind of hear somebody go, "What? Ah, what's going on?
Hello?
Who's speaking to me?"
Hello?
You do it again.
Anyone there?
Are you still using thaumaturgy?
Oh, yeah, lasts for like a minute.
Okay, yeah. This is pretty distant, but my name is Tyrek. Who is doing this?
Tyr, could we speak with you over near the front desk?
Can't hear you. He's too
Who is it? Because I don't think... Would I be able to hear Tyrek?
You can hear him because he's like screaming at the top of his lungs.
Mister, we're looking for Mr. Reek.
Tyrek.
Tyrek?
I am Tyrek. Where are you? Are you here? Are you around me? Are you
I'm at
invisible?
the front desk.
Front desk. Oh. You don't really hear the but about, I don't know, 60 seconds later, you hear movement coming from the right side of the desk, and you see somebody pass through a doorway. He's human, probably about just under 6 feet, pretty plump looking, older, got a handlebar mustache, with just a tinge of white in it, and he's got like his hair is red. He's got a big scar going down the side of his face.
Does it look recent?
It looks healed over. It looks not super recent.
Okay.
Okay. It's weird that I heard you from all the way back there. What can I do? I am. Well, I guess now I'm the Watchman General. My name is Tyrek. How can I help you guys?
Hello, Tyrek. We've heard that you may be the only person in this town who has successfully survived an encounter with what people are calling the Beast.
Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't necessarily call it a encounter.
Could you tell us in your own words what happened?
I was probably a month into when this thing was happening. Me and my partner, we were watches had been increased. We hadn't yet discovered it was a beast. We split up because we heard a sound and we were trying to close in on it. When I rounded the corner, I guess my partner was a little faster than me, and he had gotten to it first, unfortunately. And I saw it eat my partner's heart, and then slink back into the darkness.
No, that must have been very trying. Could you describe for us what you saw?
Did it
Furry?
look like a clown?
It didn't look like a clown. What's a clown? God, it had to at least be 9 feet tall. The thing I remember the most was the smell. There was this thick, almost like you could chew on it, the smell. It was thick around it, just putrefaction. It smelled like death. It was about 9 feet tall. I saw fur, this kind of grayish, matted, kind of like a blue-green color. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a blue flower that's been pressed into a book after a long time. It loses that blue and it gains a little of that green-yellow tinge. Its eyes glowed yellow, and so did its teeth. It had claws at least as long as my fingers. And it saw me. It looked at me. And I swear I could hear it laughing at me.
Did it seem to look at you with a sense of recognition, or did it seem like it was more just toying you or taunting you?
I think it was taunting me. But yeah, I was the first one to say anything about it, and people thought I was crazy for a few days until it happened again, and then a few other people saw it, and then more and more people were seeing it because I guess they were looking for it, I guess, or trying to prove me wrong. I don't know. And then everybody's kind of recognized it for what it was. After a month of it happening every 2 or 3 days, they knew it couldn't have been a human or anything that even resembled a human.
Now, you are now the Watch General, is that correct?
I guess, yeah, de facto. You can witness all of my troops. And he just kind of points to this empty watch house.
I know this must be a stressful time, but now, if this thing does intend on attacking again tonight, we need to keep our heads straight. So we need a course of action that can help us to hopefully curb some of this potential threat.
Plan of action? What do you mean a plan of action?
Well, in the situation...
Plan of action is to hide. To bar your windows and your door and pray to Kalish that you're going to survive the night.
Has anyone been or seen any evidence that this thing attacks anything that is not living?
That it attacks something that's not living? Is that what you said?
Yes, like if someone weren't home, would it attack their home?
I don't know if anybody's really thought about that. I mean, as far as we know, it hasn't broken into any homes that there weren't people inside.
So if its goal is to attack the living, then it will seek out the living, correct?
Wait, you broke up on that last little part. What was that?
If its goal is to attack and kill the living, then naturally it would seek the living. Is that not correct?
I'm assuming you say protect the living?
Oh, no. If its goal is to attack the living. Am I breaking up? Sorry.
Yeah, breaking up at the same spot each time.
Oh, sorry. Look, let me just spitball here real quick. What if we were to gather the townsfolk in one central location tonight?
He looks at you with these wide eyes. He's like, what?
Yes, from what we understand, this creature has not attacked the Stone Keep because it is so well fortified. So if we expect that it is going to attack more living folk, why don't we just gather all of the folk at the Stone Keep, where we have the best fortification, and then it presumably would either attack the Stone Keep and we would have our best shot at outnumbering it, or it would just go about its merry way.
That is such a good idea.
He grabs your shoulder, brings you in close, and whispers into you. It's like, do you think for a second that the Stone Lord would let 400 rabbling villagers into her villa?
Oh, I'm not concerned with what the Stone Lord will or will not allow. Her authority...
I think you should be, son. I think you should be really concerned with what she'll allow.
And why is that? Why is people so threatened by her?
Guys, I have a great idea. What if we get all 400 people to say her name in unison?
Drunk Locke is the spirit of the party.
Yes, truly. Look, I understand that in times like these, people will find themselves clamoring for a leader and, looking for somebody to save them and hold them up. But I can tell you, the Stone Lord is not that person right now. I think you, sir, being the only person who has successfully survived an encounter, would be the voice that the people could get behind.
I'm not the voice of anybody. I survived because it already killed somebody. For whatever reason, it wants to kill this town slow. So it's doing it one person at a time.
Have you considered maybe it's feeding?
There's other things it could eat. Doesn't touch the horses. Doesn't touch the dogs. Doesn't touch anything else.
It only seems to eat the hearts,
It only touches
though.
people?
It's only killed people.
And it only eats the hearts, is that correct?
I mean, at a certain point, it's hard to tell when a body's been ripped open with bare hands. It could have eaten anything it wanted out of there. It could have thrown it halfway across the town. I mean, we know I saw it eat a heart.
All right, hold on. I have an idea. If this beast boy wants hearts, why don't we set a trap where there's just like a heart chilling there for him?
And where do you suspect we get a human heart?
I'm sure
all of you guys look at Tyrek.
we got 400 people here. There's no way we're not gonna miss one of them.
I think it only likes it fresh.
Tyrek interrupts. If you're out at night, I don't think you're going to have to really worry about finding it. It's definitely going to find you.
Right, but everybody keeps telling me that the dude beast man attacks randomly. So how am I supposed to make sure that it randomly attacks me first instead of one of these 400 common folk?
I mean, it attacks randomly, but if 3 pieces of fresh meat are just walking around...
Well, I think ideally it would only be one of us just walking around, and then the rest of us are just waiting, you know?
Mr. Tyrion, it could be 4.
Tyrion. No, I think it's gonna be 3. I have to take care of things here. There's pretty much nobody left.
Look,
I can take care of this place.
Well, is there another gathering place? If you don't think that the Stone Lord will allow us to shelter civilians in her home,
It's not just the Stone Lord. I don't think you're going to pry these villagers from their self-made fortresses to become sitting ducks with the entirety of the town. They'll go crazy. They won't. You'd have to drag them out of their home.
I think if we took 400 people and we put them in one enclosed encampment and we armed them, or we at least made it so that they were surrounded by the only armed people in town, that they would probably feel more comfortable than trying to fend for themselves in a home that's already failed.
Or whatever conflict boils over would be a lot more fun.
I think you could try. He's like, I'll let you try and convince somebody that collecting with literally everybody else in the town, let's be honest, a fortress is a whole lot like a pen. If the thing is inside, you're gonna get all 400 people in there, and then you're just gonna hope that they can fight it off. It's gonna take somebody, and nobody's gonna take that shot.
So what you're saying is you only get one shot.
You only get one shot. The blow opportunity. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. People, your friends, your neighbors, townsfolk dying, and then some out-of-town strangers tell that they should all collect in one place and that they're gonna fight off the beast? Hell no. People got families.
Yes, and would you rather your family die cowering alone in the dark, frightened for their lives? Or would you rather one or two people, or maybe even half a dozen or 50, I don't know, but a certain number of people die taking this thing down face to face, swords drawn, glimmering in glory. Man to man.
You see him deflate a little bit and kind of just like sit in a chair. It's like, I don't think this town's got it in it anymore. You're asking a lot from a people that are basically just trying to run out the clock on this thing.
Dude, we fought giants and won. So
make a deception check, because that was not a thing with disadvantage.
We fought with a giant.
You fought with a giant. Kalt fought a giant.
Yes.
Therefore, we fought giants.
No, you got
They might be giants.
All right, so first one was a 20, unnatural.
Okay.
Second one was a fucking 23. Let's go!
It's like, you really fought a giant?
Heck yeah, we did.
And why don't you just take care of this? Why do you have to drag other people into it? Guys,
because there's no way we can protect everybody unless they're all in one place.
We can't guarantee that it won't just attack some other random house, and that we'll be waiting here for 2 to 3 days until this thing is ready to come back.
And I'll offer myself up as bait.
Can't guarantee that it won't attack someplace else, true, but I'm telling you, the people that don't, typically speaking, the few times that it happened before everybody's locked up in their houses, they died out and about. They were going from one place to another. They were on the streets. They were outside. If you guys really want it to come to you, if you're walking out outside, you're the juiciest target and the easiest target for it. I guarantee you it'll show up.
We are 2 very capable warriors and 1 small child who also happens to be a very capable warrior. And
she seems pretty capable, I give you that.
She very much is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I give her a lollipop or something. I don't know. I assume there's one on the desk.
A lollipop.
No, it's like a dentist's office, right? There's just one on the desk.
That's a mothball. Don't know. Oh boy.
Oh, too late. Too late. It was a lollipop.
I just think 3 people in the middle of the night in a strange town, being strangers from a foreign land, are not going to be the best shot at taking down such a beast, however capable we are. But if we really rally the people together and show them that if they can stand up in numbers and fight for themselves, maybe we can make some changes in this town. Take down the beast, maybe, overthrow the oligarch, just casual stuff.
You know what, guy? I believe in you. Why don't you go out there and get started? I'll be here. I'll be back up.
Can I roll insight? Is he really going to be back up?
Yeah, roll insight.
I think it's pretty obvious.
That's a 10.
Just straight 10. That's all you needed. Yeah, he's not gonna be your back. I mean, you can tell that he's a good guy or whatever, but I mean,
He's a good guy, but he's not a good guy.
No, he's a good guy, but you can really only ask for so much from somebody reasonably. He'll do what he can, maybe, but he's not really going to be there for you.
Tyrek,
You know what?
you have been the most reasonable person we have spoken with in this town thus far, and a true disappointment. And I turn and I walk away.
Mister, if you're not going to help us, who will?
I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, Tiki, I really thought you were gonna be our bud, but now you're just one of the fake ones.
I don't mean to disrespect you guys or anything like that. I got a
Well, you
family.
did.
I want to protect them, but you're asking. So your idea is to go door to door in the next, I don't know, it's at this point it's probably 11 o'clock, in the next 7 hours and get a mob to then make a run at the Stone Lord's keep.
Well, we have something they all want.
What could you possibly have that would make all of these poor people risk the only thing they've got left, which is their life, and not just the life of themselves, but maybe the lives of their family? What do you have that's so powerful?
A boat.
You see him kind of dip his head for a second, and he gets off his chair and gets on one knee, like in front of you, Maeve, and looks you straight in the eyes. And you can see, they're big, puffy, and red. And he tells you, then little girl, I suggest that you and your friends get on that boat, and you never look back.
Come and meet